Hey, welcome to another episode of Startup Chuck. Today we're going to be talking about customer service.
All right.
Quick though, here's a preview of what I've been working on. I've been building a automated cookie dough chopping gun. So stay tuned, and now back to customer service. I've been dealing a lot with customers these days, mainly because it's a big part of my season right now with it being winter and working with the Chuck Bucket. And with that comes customer service. So customer service isn't that hard. Honestly, you can do a lot to have good customer service just by answering your customers' questions in a timely manner. It is a very low bar right now for customer service. If I respond back to people in one day, they're amazed. Honestly, it shouldn't be that hard. You should really bake customer service into your product. If you can't afford to have good customer service with your product, then perhaps your pricing strategy or the quality of your product isn't great to begin with, and that's something to think about. It's really important, especially for small companies, to have good customer service, because as good customer service is good and other people will talk about your product in a positive light, bad customer service is very toxic. And if you aren't doing your best and being honest with your customers, then that will get out and eventually your sales will hurt. The only place where bad customer service really can stand is with cheap products that people can afford to lose money on and that are in retail markets where they don't have time to really research it. And so if you're in a retail store, like Walmart, for example, and your product's on the shelf, kind of like the as seen on TV thing or whatever, yeah, maybe then you don't have to have great customer service because somebody spent $5 on it and they just consider it a loss and they'll just return it if they're unhappy. But if you've got a more expensive product or something that's a little more niche, you really don't want to alienate your market. I know for our Chuck Rack and Chuck Bucket, we do a really good job of trying to listen to our customers and understand where they're coming at and really just help the best that we can. And it shows that they care, because a lot of times we'll get responses back from somebody who is unhappy because of this or that. Usually it's a delay in shipment or something came damaged, not necessarily things that we can control. And just by responding back to them in a day or two, immediately it diffuses their anger and they're a lot happier. So if I didn't mention it already, really, the most important thing is treat your customer the way you would want to be treated if you were a customer. This is something that gets lost on a lot of people running companies. You get so caught up on trying to be profitable or being right, or basically just get defensive. Think, how is your customer feeling? Did they just fork out a bunch of money for a product and it didn't meet expectations? Use this as a learning opportunity from each one of your customers. Your customer is somebody who wanted your product to start. They want to be a fan of your product. What don't they like about it? It might be some really good feedback for you to know how you might want to change your product for the future, different revisions. So for example, I know with Chuck Bucket here, we wanted to take all the feedback that we got from customers. So we had a spreadsheet going, and every time somebody had a problem or a suggestion, we put it into the spreadsheet, we sent out surveys, and we tallied all of that up. And that's what we were able to then roll into our Generation 2 product and made it better. People are happier. And overall, we ended up getting, lots of praise as opposed to, minor complaints like we had before about maybe different things on the earlier designs. So that's another opportunity. Don't fear each email from a customer for customer service. You should look at it as an opportunity to improve and learn. Let's see here. What else do I got? So let's see here. So your customer does want to be heard. Also, they like to hear apologies. Saying you're sorry, even if, it's not your fault as the supplier. Still, say, hey, I'm sorry. And that goes a long way with a customer. Just to say, oh, great. I feel, good about myself. They said they're sorry. I'm in the right. And maybe they're going to fix this. Try and fix things if you can, especially if it's your fault as the, owner of the company. If you can fix it, great. Great examples of this are In-N-Out Burger. Once I ordered, took, I'd say 35 minutes to get my order, and they gave me a gift card for a free meal for next time, right? Instead of me being super angry, it cost them almost nothing to give me, additional food at another time. And guess what? I was happy. In fact, I'd be happy even if I never even used it, just because I felt like they valued me as a customer and they felt sorry. They were apologetic. Even if they gave me the food and apologized and didn't give me the gift card, I would have been thrilled, because at least they realized that they were taking a long time and were sorry about it. What else here? Another great example of bad customer service and great customer service was two different ski binding companies that I had to deal with. So one of the binding companies, I had a part that broke, and I reached out to their customer service and I said, hey, I'm not the original purchaser, but I would like to buy a replacement piece. I'm not even trying to get it for free. I would like to, buy a replacement piece, and here's the information you need on what binding it is. And that company basically told me, hey, you know what? Go pound sand. Basically, you're not the original purchaser. Go find a shop that sells this and see if they're willing to help you. Which, I understand maybe they're really busy. Maybe they're short-staffed. But what I've heard as a customer, or even a future customer, was, we don't value you at all. All we care about is our retail shops that bring in money, and you're unimportant. And so you contrast that with another experience I had with a different company based in Salt Lake. I bought a pair of used skis at a gear shop. Bindings broke. I went into the manufacturer. I said, hey, these bindings broke. I'm not the original owner. What do I need to do? They replaced the part. They remounted the bindings. They gave me extra leashes on, these are telemark bindings, but they gave me extra leashes on them and sent me on my way. Didn't charge me a dime. And guess what? Now I'm an advocate for that company. And I will tell everybody I know how much I love them, how great their customer service was, how terrible the customer service was at this other company I dealt with, which I won't name names. But either way, now whenever I'm looking to buy new bindings, even though I didn't buy new bindings from them to begin with, in the future, I say, man, which company do I want to work with? Of course, the one that took care of me as a customer. And I suggest everybody uses them in the future, because they were great to work with, even if their product wasn't as good, because maybe, it broke. But still, if they're willing to back up their product, if they're willing to work with me as a customer and keep me happy, that's what I care more about. I'd rather buy something that is a 9 out of 10 and great customer service than a 10 out of 10 and terrible customer service. So keep that in mind. That's really important. A lot of this is common sense, right? But it's easy to forget when you're trying to be profit-minded, running a company, to say, oh, well, we can't help you with that because, we're going to lose money. Lots of times, for example, we get packages that are damaged when they get to the customer, or they're late, or they go missing. And we do everything we can to get them replacement parts and then sort it out with UPS after the fact. We still keep track of whether or not they're delivered or not, but if UPS damages something and you call up UPS and it's actually damaged and the customer needs a replacement, yeah, we're going to not wait for that damaged part to get back. We're going to send a replacement immediately and then just see what happens with UPS, in a week or two when we finally get things sorted out. That sort of thing is important. What else we got here? Fitbit. I had a friend who, during the initial Fitbit Kickstarter, I don't remember what it was. I think her strap broke or something like that. What did they do? They sent her a brand new strap and a coupon code for 15% off. Well, guess what she did? That's a great strategy. Not only did she say, oh, it was super nice, they replaced the strap for me, even though, probably shouldn't have broken in the first place, but that's good customer service. Here's a 15% off gift card or coupon or whatever it was that she gave then to another coworker. And now Fitbit sold two things. So that's another strategy, right? Like not only do a really good job for that customer, but if you show a really good job with your customer service, sometimes providing a discount code can actually yield you additional sales just because of your good customer service. And guess what? Then you've earned all that time and money back with your 15 minutes that you spent on that one customer for customer service, or even less. Usually these emails don't take more than 2-3 minutes to sort things out. See here, what else I got on my list? So fix mistakes. Try to avoid excuses. Excuses aren't going to help. I know a lot of times if something is running late, we just try and say we're sorry, this shouldn't have happened. But we try not to say, oh, well, it was, this company's fault or UPS's fault or blah, blah, blah. Customers don't want to hear excuses. They want to hear, we're sorry, this is what we're going to do, or how we're going to try and help you. And I know that sometimes it might not even be, we're going to fix it for you. It might be something along the lines of, hey, we are going to try and fix this for the future so nobody else has the same problem you had. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. If you do that, customers feel like they were heard and valued. And even though it doesn't fix it for them, it'll fix it for somebody else. Case in point, we had some assembly videos that we've modified or updated 3 times because people have said, oh, I didn't understand how to do this thing or that thing. It was a little confusing for us. Well, at this point, it's already assembled for the customer. But if we say, hey, thank you for that feedback, we went ahead and we've updated that video so that other people won't encounter the same problems you had. Now that customer feels validated with their issue and appreciated, and they're going to be more likely to tell somebody positive feedback versus negative feedback. Let's see here. I had mentioned how baking customer service into your price and quality of your product. I do think that's important. Even at, a cheaper product, things like that. It's unfortunately with a lot of larger companies, as they continue to grow, they try and become more and more profit minded. There's not as much that they can, save in terms of where to save money. So then they start cutting personnel like customer service, and that's the only way they can save 1% or earn 1% more profit on their product. If you are a startup, if you've got a new product, that's not going to be where you're saving money. It's not going to be on customer service. You're going to be saving money by basically getting more market share, by selling more, becoming, more revenue forward. And so that's what you should be focusing on is good customer service, which will make your sales guy's job a lot easier trying to sell your product because people will hear about how good the product is. Last thing I want to say is the customer isn't always right. A lot of times you'll get people who demand things that they definitely don't have the right for. For example, oh, I ordered this product, and this is not a real example. This is made up. But, I ordered this product. I drove my car over it. I thought it should be stronger. You need to replace this. Well, that's a really weird thing to ask, right? Like, we didn't say that you could drive your car over this phone. Why do you think that we owe you a replacement? In which case, it's like, okay, customer isn't right in this situation. They're expecting a situation that they assume that they're always right and that everybody should bend to their will. In this case, you really just, again, be apologetic and say we're sorry that our phone, didn't withstand going underneath the crushing weight of your massive vehicle, and this can be frustrating for you. And basically state, again, we're sorry, we can't offer you a refund because it was used not according to the instructions, right? Be as gentle as you can, but then leave it at that. They're going to write back possibly and say, this is silly, rah, 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 rah. I'm going to tell everybody on Reddit that you guys are a terrible company. Just leave it at that. Don't keep responding back. Don't fuel the fire. you don't want anybody to have a wonderful, set of emails that then they can post and show how terrible you are out of context because they can just leave out their context. And then secondarily, if you left it at that and they went and started telling their friends about how, oh, I drove over it with my car and they didn't replace it, most people are going to think that they're kind of crazy anyways. So better just to leave it at that. Don't fuel the fire and just move on. There's always going to be somebody trying to get something for free. Not that you shouldn't help people where help is needed. So most of the times if we have, issues for our customers, a lot of times we'll just send them parts right away. Even if it's at break even or maybe slightly below cost, depending on what broke and whether or not we feel like it should have broke or not broke, etc. I know we had one customer who backed their chuck bucket into a snowbank and it got bent up, which again, the bucket isn't meant to get backed into a massive, ice hard snowbank. It's not going to be able to handle the entire mass of a car, crushing it. But you know what? We had a demo unit. And so, we worked with that customer and said, hey, we're sorry to hear about that. That's unfortunate. Luckily, they were local. So then we were able to basically give them a scratched up demo unit that was still functional. It wasn't really scratched up, but it was an earlier demo prototype that we'd used a bunch for shows and things like that. So, that was a great example of, it didn't cost us anything to give them that. We had it sitting around, and they're more likely to enjoy the product and tell their people about it. So, sometimes not trying to get every last penny from every one of your customers is a good thing. But, if you can't afford good customer service, raise your product $1. You'll easily be able to afford it then. It doesn't take very much time to answer all those emails. So that's all I got for customer service. Wanted to share that with all of you. And hopefully you'll have a company that's got really good customer service, because like most people, that's our pet peeve, is terrible customer service just frustrates everybody. We need to start raising the bar of good customer service so that all this terrible customer service ends. All right. Thank you all. Please like and subscribe. Check out all my other cool videos. There's a lot of them. I'll be doing more on startup things as well as some more really cool builds. And I'll see you guys in the future.